Good afternoon. This is one of a series of videos about hammering iron. Hammering iron is American Civil War naval actions on the rivers, and it's in 1/600th using Peter Pig ships. You can use other ones, of course. Now, here's the very first part. Here is a hammering iron mat in hexagons. It was designed by Les, thank you Les, and it's 5 foot by 3 foot. It's that size so it fits on an ordinary tabletop. So here I put it on an ordinary tabletop. Therefore you've got space for all your junk to be off the table, and it looks quite nice. The other good thing about it is that having the two sides on it, you can see upper and lower part of the pictures, is authentic because rivers have sides. So people don't need to say, well, I want to sail off and then come back on somewhere. They say, no, it's a river, therefore it's restricted. So this is the mat. This next bit's about setting up the table. The important thing with Peter Pig games is that all of them allow two people to turn up and play a game instead of one person setting up all the scenery, choosing the scenario, making up all the rules, laying out the fleets. The other guy might as well not be there. But the idea of Peter Pig games is both players can read the rules before the game, both players can make their own fleet, both players take part in the setup of the game, and both players decide how the game moves along. It's a two-player game, not an alpha player and someone else just following along nicely. You don't have to use a setup, but it is provided, which is nice. Let's go through the setup. First of all, the table has two ends marked, attacker end and defender end. If you make your own cloth, you can just mark one as player 1, player 2. Now the first thing we do is laying out the scenery. Because we've got an attacker end, defender end. First thing we do is the sandbars. Sandbars, they're a little bit bright, I know, but each one's represented by 3 hexagons. 3 hexagons. Now, they're laid out anywhere they like by the defender. So, defender decides to put a sandbar there in those 3 hexes. There we go. In fact, make it like that, because the attacker's coming from the right hand side of this picture. He also gets 2 islands. Now the islands must always allow one complete strip of hexes for enemy to go up and down without trying to block off the table. I'm going to put this island there, and I've just made this out of a piece of plywood. You can make them out of cardboard, whatever you like. I've done one that's nice and flat, like it's a bit of a sandy island, and this one I've made much greener. You can put the island touching the shore if you like, but otherwise if it's not touching the shore it must be a complete column free for movement. I'll put it down this end, there. Now as defender, I've laid out an island, a second island, 1 sandbar. I think I'll put a second sandbar here. Sandbars are more trouble for deep drafted ships than shallow ships. So the shallower boats, some of the stern paddlers and actors whiz across. Next we have the fort. 2d6 and defender's end. There's a 6. Now, if I count in 6 whole hexes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That means it's got to be 6 hexes in from the end. Anywhere across, it could be on the shoreline. Could be on the island there, it could be here, anywhere we like, but 6 hexes from the end. These are all randomised. I'm going to place the fort 6 hexes in. So let's check that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's got to occupy that square there. So I think I'll put the fort there. Forts occupy a pair of hexes. There's a medium-sized fort, which most players will use. There is a small fort there. That's a very large fort, like a Fort Sumter. I've got one of those too. Now, we've got as far as laying out the islands, the sandbars, and the other bits and pieces. The table, that's the compulsory part, so it's all ready. Next, we're going to just add some decoration to it, just decoration. I've now put up a load of stuff to make the table look nice. It's not that much effort needed, but it does look nice, I think. For example, as well as the objective buildings, I put a few more Peter Pig buildings stuck on a plastic base. This green stuff You can buy it from most modelling and wargaming stores. It's that foliage clump, which is very good. Little Peter Pig farm there. Down here, Peter Pig city blocks. They tessellate together to make a continuous block. And I put some green on the island as well. Just so you see it slightly closer, there's the city blocks. And they can go any way round. But they just make blocks of buildings. They look quite nice. There's the city blocks. The farms, once again, little resin pieces by Peter Pig, 1/600th, be about 3mm size figures. There's the little farm. It's just for decoration, but looks nice in the game. There's the little farm there. Now the game's all set up. That table is ready for play.